Okay, so let's talk about your diet. The diet which you provided me. There are certain things you really do good about your diabetes, which is diabetes 2. But I feel the specific combination what you take during the dinner time, right? Oat, curd, milk, fruits, and vegetables together. That combination is not really a good combination. Okay, so the points to make some of the changes is, if you can avoid that, it will be awesome. So do not stick with that recipe. Okay. First of all, that is a, look at me, that is a kapha vardhak recipe. Kapha means mucus, kapha means congestion, kapha means clog, kapha means collection in the body, right? So when you are doing that specific combination, your kapha is automatically going to get aggravated, and you do that towards the end of the day. Okay. That is another thing, because there will not be a lot of movement, right? End of the day is like calming, grounding, sleeping, that kind of thing is going to be there, right? So you are not going to it is not going to help you with that food towards the end of the day. So totally 100% stop that.
Okay. पण मग काय रिप्लेस?
The replacement for that is like, you have the different millets, right? You do different millets. You do jawar, you do the pearl millet, black millet, ragi, natsani, sattu, the amaranth seeds, quinoa, oats. You make the powders and you make the pancakes out of it. Okay, so simple. You put the alkaline vegetables into it when you are cooking it, like a kind of thalipit, or like a kind of omelette. But the omelette with a lot of alkaline food. Okay, no, not omelette is not like a tomato and salt and pepper. No, you can create some alkalinity into that one with all these millet flour. Okay. So millet, different combinations of the millet. You can also add a little bit of lentils powders into it, and you can make the pancakes out of it. You know, omelette or pancake kind of thing. And then you saute it nicely, and then definitely you add a nice black pepper, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, ginger, turmeric, salt, black salt. This kind of combination.
And alkali vegetables.
Yes, alkaline vegetables. Okay, and you make this kind of food towards the end of the day. So replace your evening food 100%. Okay, it's not a good when you have a diabetes history of diabetes 2 and you are doing this for a longer time. Okay, make sure this is a very wrong combination in Ayurveda. Okay, certain foods suppose not to go together. Let's call it as an incompatible food, or the food which creates the poisons, and this is exactly what you did. Got it? Ama toxins, a kind of a sticky substance which blocks the channels, which clogs the channels in the body, and that creates the further stages of like creating over the period of time. If we do not take care of the ama, that poison sticky substance, then it is going to travel throughout the body and go into the particular organ, particular area which is the weakest point in the body. That's called it as a kavaigunya. Okay, that means there is some weak point, in the body. This will go and stick there. So if this ama is traveling, and if you have a trauma history on your shoulder, okay, before you had a trauma on the shoulder. Then this is your weak point because you already had a history of trauma there, right? So this ama is going to go there and attack. That means it is going to get involved into that organ, and it will stick there, and it will create the restrictions, it will create the some pathology in that area. Okay, so understood the basic concept. You avoid 100% that evening food. You can definitely add turmeric, garlic, black pepper, dry ginger powder in your case. I will not go with ginger plain. You always stick with the dry ginger powder because that will work as a herbal medicine for you. Okay, so that is the first thing. When you are telling me that you had a history of 2012 diabetes 2, that means almost like 8 years back. Okay, make sure the big name, like big major diseases in the body, comes because of the imbalance, or the first is like your Agni is not going to be working properly for you. So the Agni is the key point in Ayurveda, which is called it as Agni, right? Agni means your digestive fire. Bhuk lagne, yes. Yes. So Agni, there are different types of the Agni, okay? So if you are, so for example, if you have wet wood, right? If you are if you are burning and trying to burn the wet wood versus the dried wood, what is the difference, right? So the dried wood will be a lot of kind of clean fire rather compared to the wet wood, because wet wood is going to have like fumes and smell and the fumes and all of that, right? So there is a huge difference between the wet wood and the good wood, and then the concept of fire, because they both. So in this case what we have is kind of a wet wood. So we are looking forward to have a good fire in our body, and this is where the concept of Agni, the concept of metabolic fire in the body is going to come in. Okay, and this thing, it is called it as a Madhumeha in Ayurveda. And when we are talking about Madhumeha, this is all about the metabolic disorder. That means something related with your digestive system, and your digestion is not happening properly, your body is not absorbing the things the way it's supposed to, and then a whole process of disease formation in Ayurveda. Okay, and I always talk that about all the 7 stages of disease formation in Ayurveda in most of my time. Okay, so this is the first thing. Second thing, what you do in the afternoon, the millets and green vegetable and lentils and sprouted lentils, the sorted one. Always make sure you eat cooked, warm, fresh food, which you do from long time. You changed yourself like 100%, which is a very awesome thing. What you created your own routine, and you try to follow
I would call it awareness.
Yes, and you tried your best to follow certain diet for a certain nutrition. You brought a lot of change in your daily activities, your food choices and all of that, which is amazing. At least you have created that habit long time back for yourself. Only the things, proper combinations, and only the things how to handle the stress is the key. Now, as we are talking about, whatever you told me, all the other things regarding you, I feel like you have a strong imbalance in the kapha and vata in your body. Okay, so kapha vata, and then to reduce down your stress, and to calm your stress, to calm the nervous system, to calm the aggravated vata in your body, there is a Shirodhara therapy, which is a third eye therapy, and a nice Abhyangam, which are like oil massages to calm down your whole vata throughout the body, and then a herbal steam is something which can open up the channels, which are the blocked channels in the body, right? So this kind of combination will be another way of calming yourself, grounding yourself, opening yourself, cleansing yourself, and giving the direction to the obstructed vata in the body. Okay, so that is the one thing I really will suggest you. Another thing, we are talking about weight, right? weight concept in Ayurveda is something which you have to think, because again you have a history of diabetes mellitus type 2, which is a madhumeha, and you have that from many, like 8 years of history. So what I would like you to suggest, totally, whenever you are eating the food, you think about the good combination of the carb. Okay, do not offer the white combinations of the carb. How about that? So no white, mark it down. Okay, so white, no white. And like a lot of instead of doing a lot of yogurt and this combination of the yogurt, which was very wrong, I would prefer a lot of nice 1:6 buttermilk.
Okay.
1:6, mark it down. And add all the spices which I have mentioned you before, all the herbs and spices. Okay, so that will be a kind of very alkaline, and that will be a nice it can boost the agni, it can help the body. Takra is a kind of nectar in Ayurveda. Okay, takra, and you know the concept of the takra, right? Takram means buttermilk, and buttermilk is one of the shrestha, that means supreme food in Ayurvedic diet. Okay, so involve the takram into your food. Okay, but in that takram, make sure you have the black pepper, cilantro, and a little bit of pink salt. Saindhav, yes, yeah, but no sugar.
No sugar.
No sugar, yes, no sugar. Okay, and then another thing what I would like to suggest, involve the vegetables which are bitter in taste. Okay, so write it down, few of the vegetables which will be helpful for us. So the most good vegetables to follow is bitter melon. Okay, methi. Okay, bitter melon, methi, and then squashes, all squash family, and then you can have that bottle gourd, ridge gourd, snake gourd, all the gourd family, but kind of a pumpkin, roasted pumpkin, zucchini is another, asparagus, and then you can also add collard greens, and then nice celery. You make the same celery vegetable like the way you do the potato vegetable. Same. I will tell you how to do it. I know many people complains because of the strong smell of the celery. Do not ever offer the smoothie to yourself. That's one of the bad thing you offer to yourself. Do not do that. Okay, you do steamed, cooked, sauteed. If you are hungry, saute it. Saute a little bit on a ghee, a little bit on the oil, or just dry saute it. But never ever give, because you, whatever you do, the 100% best, 100 of best offerings to yourself, your one smoothie will nullify the effects. That much effect that smoothie concept has on the digestive system. Ayurveda never ever suggests smoothie concept. Got it? Okay, so no to the smoothies. No to the white potatoes, carbs, white food, white salt, okay, white sugar, white flours, all the bakery products, bread products, no. Okay, and then another thing which you can involve is a lot of lentil dosas. Okay, so lentil dosas with the herbs and spices, the way we have discussed it, that will be awesome. Okay, in the routine, there is a typical breathing technique, and that's called it as a Kapalabhati. That's like fire breath. Okay, so you need to breathe in and breathe out in such a way that you are using your all the abdominal muscles. It's like back and forth. It's like, Bhata kind of thing, that a person used to do that. You know, you do that. So it's the same thing. You need to pump the abdominal muscles. Use the abdominal organs, the mid-abdominal organs, which are all playing a very important role in the process of transformations in the body, in the process of metabolism in the body, in the process of digestion in the body. So you make sure you stimulate them. So Kapalabhati. And no raw, no cold, no raw.
But what? No raw.
Raw food like salads.
raw
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, girl. You can. Like, how can I say that? I'm so.
Carrots, no raw carrots.
I gave you steamed. Make sure, because you have such a weak digestion. How do you offer the raw? Raw is, most of the time, the concept of raw is very different in Ayurveda. Think about it. You don't have a good digestion. You have already a metabolic issue. You already have a metabolic disorder. You already have a condition from long time, right? On top of it, what you do, you are offering the raw, which your body doesn't know how to digest, because you already have a low fire within you. Got it? So you have to think. It's good for certain people who are strong pitta people. It is good for certain people who has such a strong metabolic fire or good digestion, good agni, which is called it as a pachakagni, jataragni. So if you have that, then you eat. But I don't see that here. So you should not.
So I can eat the steamed carrot?
Yes, ma'am. But again, why you go with the carrot and beetroot? Because it's full of sugar. So you should get something like Brussels sprouts, asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower. So you create which doesn't have a high sugar coated food. Got it? So you look for that bitter, sauteed beans, French beans, sauteed. So you do those things which are pungent, bitter, astringent. Write it down. Pungent, because you are giving me your stress, you are giving me your strong diabetes mellitus history, you are giving me a weight issue, you are giving me a pain in the lower leg, you are giving me a lot of things, right? So it's really better for you to use this kind of combination of food, okay? And make sure if you are eating your morning food around 11:30 or 12, it's wonderful to eat around 6:37, 7:30, but do not pass the 8. Okay? And keep a gap of 2 hours minimum or 3 hours, good amount of gap between your dinner and your sleep time. Okay? Do not let your kapha increase in the body, eating and sleeping. No. Okay? Another thing which I would like to involve is fruits. So fruits are sugar, full of sugar, right? And that's why people love to eat the fruits. But fruits, if you really want to eat it, towards the morning snack or mid-afternoon snack. You should not do the fruit towards the end of the day or towards the night. That's not a good option for you, okay? Because we really want our body to not have a lot of sugar contents. Natural fruits, awesome. Again, the fruits where we are talking about, when you are concerned about your weight and all of that. So do the fruits which are strong for you. So let's write pineapple, oranges. Melon family is again like full of water, so it can increase the weight very easily. So sour family is a good friend for you, and not a good friend for you is like banana, a kind of cheese related food, dairy, a lot of dairy, unless it is a masala milk or a spiced milk or a kind of a ginger kind of a milk. What you do, cheese, milk and cereals are the worst.
I don't eat that much sometimes.
I know, but you option it with the some of the nuts which are like chia. You can do some walnuts, You can, because as we were talking about your stress, right, walnuts represents the brain, so you can see that it can be very helpful for you. So walnuts, pecan, pine nuts and chia seeds will be a good option along with a bunch of raisins for you. Okay, so do that kind of combination. And again, as per me, you don't eat bread, pasta, cheese, cake. That's a burst. Okay, so this is
Maybe
something.
one bite.
Yeah,
But
and I will give you a oil. I really want you to put the oil and put it into your nostrils and do the nasya, which I will maybe show you in one of the session. Okay, so that's called it as a nasya therapy, because this is the door to your brain. Okay, so this is going to go to all the organs located in this area. So think about that way, that how Ayurveda sees the things and how Ayurveda offers the things for the therapeutic holistic healing. Okay, so this is going to the our major organs in this area, again going on the hormones in the body, endocrine system in the body. We are connecting our endocrine system, our nervous system, our digestive system, our muscular system, because we are holding a lot of stress. So now the imbalance is not only related with your digestive system, it is gone into the further stages, which is like it is gone into the tissue level, and now your plasma, blood, as well as your muscle tissue and fat tissue, they are involved into it. So it's no more like a doshic imbalance, it is like tissue imbalance also. Okay, all right, so I hope you understood and this is helpful. We will talk about some of the teas. So cooked, steamed, sauteed, mark it down. Yes, yes, yes. Steamed, cooked, sauteed. And I will give you one tea. Okay, make sure that you sip the water out of it all the time. Whenever you need to drink some water, you sip out of it. Okay, so make a gallon of water. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, bunch of cilantro if you have, sorry, bunch of pudina, bunch of mint if you have it, cloves, 1/4 teaspoon, and dry ginger powder, 1/8 teaspoon, and you let it sit overnight, and in the morning you boil it. When you do the second batch in the morning, you put it, mix it, let it sit, and then again you boil it. And that is how you boil, like for minimum Ayurveda says 1:4. That is kind of the quath they are looking for. But I heard from all of my clients it is very time consuming, so at least boil nicely, 30%, 40%, boil it. Okay,
yeah,
so
this we can manage,
and you can
do it.
sip it. This is the only water you can sip it. Make a habit of sipping this water. That will help you on many levels. It will open up the channels, it will give you the direction to the vata. It will also cleanse the body, but I will give you some of the combinations which you can add into that one. Okay, any other questions? Good, understood. Okay, so